What's going on, Chaotix? It is your boy Chaos May 006 here, and we are going to be talking about how to draft a team in a draft league. I hope you guys are very excited for it. I hope you guys have been enjoying this series so far. But today, we need to take a look at what Pokemon to draft. So first of all, you gotta go back to the last video and watch the draft tiers, see where all the Pokemon fit onto those tiers, and then we're gonna come back into this video and see how they fit. So we see Zeraora actually is an OU one. That's cool. I didn't know that. But you take a look at the tiers and you come back to this and you pick a nice team to draft. So basically, I'm going to be going off the rules and the draft tiers of my league that I created. Different leagues have different tiers, but what you want to do is you want to first and foremost make a draft plan. How you make a draft plan is you figure out what Pokemon you like to use, what Pokemon you want to base your team around, and how those Pokemon work. So usually I just pop in here on Team Builder on Showdown, take the Pokemon, look at their move sets, look at their speeds, look at their attack stats and defenses, and just see where I like to fit. So I'm going to go back to Season 1 and pick Celesteela as my base. That's what I'm going to use. As you can see, it's got many options here like Acrobatics, Air Slash. You can run it physically, you can run it specially, you can run an SE Wall, which most people usually do. Beast Boost is there to boost its highest stat, where it's a really great ability. It gets a kill. And you can see things come in like Zen Headbutt, nice for coverage. Seed Bombs there for coverage. You can use Hidden Powers. They give you suggested move sets, suggested things. Most commonly, you're going to see a Leech subset or something like that. So we're going to see like Leech Seed. You're going to see Leech Seed. You're going to see Substitute. You're going to see probably Heavy Slam because this thing weighs a lot. And another move you can usually throw on there. People usually use Acrobatics. Maybe this thing is Leftovers, and if you get your Leftovers knocked off, Acrobatics gets really boosted. You can see they give you a suggested spread here. You're going to see stuff like that. And basically, I'll teach you about spreads in a little bit, but in the next episode. But you just want to see what the Pokemon has, what moves it can get. You can get different kinds of things. If you come down here, some of the usually useless moves as they classify can be rarely useful, like Brutal Swing is nice. If you want a dark type move, because you don't have one up here, if you need a dark type coverage move and this Pokemon can take hits, you might want that. Skull Bash is down here as well. You get smacked down to move ground immunities from Pokemon in case you want to use an Earthquake or something. We got some really cool options if you want to run a Sun Team. Solar Beam's down here as well to run. So this thing gets a lot of really cool things. So Celesteela is a cool Pokemon to have on your team. And if you look back on the sheets in the last one, Celesteela actually pops in as a Tier 1 Pokemon. I'm actually going to pop up that's the tiers, Season 2 draft tiers. That's the draft tier. It's going to pop up really quick. And as you can see, I'm going to highlight what I'm going to be using. So Celesteela pops in here as one of my picks for Tier 1. As you can see here, we need one Tier 1, one Tier 2, two Tier 3s, a Tier 4, and a Tier 5. We have a Mega slot and 5 other free slots as well. So we get 6 whole slots down here. So we gotta have 6 that match these requirements of the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 requirements, and then the rest are open to us. We do not have to draft a Mega. We do not have to do a Z move. So that's easy to get out of. Don't have to really worry about that. So we did our Tier 1, Celesteela popped up. So maybe we decide to go to Tier 2, something like that. So you want to pop down, maybe you want to take a look at Tier 2, see something really cool. So one big thing here is you got to look at Fairy Dragon Steel Cores and Fire Water Grass Cores. Those are the two main types of cores that many people use in Draft League. And a lot of people like to pick those up really early on. You can see people taking those right away. We already picked up a Steel type with Celesteela, so maybe I want to go Tier 2. I want to pick up a Haxorus, because Haxorus is a very powerful Pokemon. So maybe I go Tier 2, I drop down here, I find Haxorus on my sheet. There's Haxorus. Gets really cool abilities. If you think Berry's going to come, Unnerved's a good one. Mold Breaker to get rid of Levitate on some Pokemon to get ground type attacks. Maybe, and you get to come in here, look at the moveset, you get Earthquake, really powerful move. Poison Jab, Outrage, Night Slash is up there too. Swords Dance, really good so it could set up if you wanted to. It also could taunt, Toxic Stall, Substitute. The only thing I'm not seeing here is a really great reliable recovery. So maybe You make this an all-out attacker, or you give it leftovers to get recovery going. It just depends on how you want to run it. So it looks like a really cool Pokemon. It can have rivalry ability, but I would rather run Mold Breaker on this Pokemon to ignore effects abilities. So you can Brick Break in here, you can Focus Blast, you can run this physical or special. As you can see, Haxorus runs a little bit mid-tier speed at 97. You probably want something 100 speed plus to get the nice speed tier. And attack is almost 150, making it really powerful. So this thing could be a nice attacker. Matching really well with Celesteela, who runs base 100 across the board right here. But you're going to primarily use it as a defensive tank because it can't be fast and hit things. So it depends on how you want to use it. So Haxorus, a powerful physical attacker, Celesteela, a nice Pokeball. There's some really great moves going on here. And even this thing can take on fairy types with Poison Jab. Maybe you want to run a Choice Scarf just to Choice Scarf so you can boost speed and outspeed everything. And I'll teach you about speed creep and all that stuff right here. So 295, 293, pretty good speed. 300's about where a lot of the speedies lay, so that's pretty good speed. Base 230 is not bad. So Haxorus pick up as the second one. Number third, so to continue our Fairy Dragon Steel Core. So we have tier 2, tier 1 already picked. Maybe we want to drop down to tier 3 this time and pick up a nice fairy type on the team. So looking through this list, yeah, you see things. Let's see what fairies do we. Maybe we have fairy types. We got a Ribombee we can use. We got Gardevoir we can use. Maybe we want to pick up Flygon instead. Maybe we want to pick up a Mega Ampharos instead and use that as our Mega Stone. 2 to 3. That could be a fun pick. Virizion, not a whole lot of things in here that are fairy type. So let's just pick up Gardevoir. Pick up Gardevoir as a nice Pokemon. Gets a nice synchronized ability. You can run Trace or Telepathy if you really want to. Telepathy I would not recommend for this style of battle. But Trace can be cool if you have things that sturdy or something like that, making Gardevoir a little bit more reliable. And you look at moves. You got Dazzling Gleam, you got really cool tech in Destiny Bond if you want to take something out. Good coverage with Energy Ball, as well as you got some hidden powers you can use. Healing Wish if you want to do healing stuff. It can be a Cleric running Heal Bell, things like that, and it also can give you status with Thunder Wave, Toxic, or Will-O-Wisp down there. Wish also could be an option here. And so this thing's got a really wide move pool, which is really nice to have early on in your draft. For IVs and EVs and stats wise, not the best on the physical side, running 65 on both attack and defense, 68 on HP. But if you look at its special side, it's running really high special defense and really high special attack. Meaning this thing could run pretty well even with max speed investment. Let's give it a boosting nature. Just get rid of this minus the attack. So this is typical timid would be cool to see on Gardevoir. So we're running 284 just under that 300 mark. So it could be pretty decent to take on some of the slower stuff, but it's not going to be very fast. So if we take this, we got a Fairy Dragon Steel Core as well as Steel and Psychic on this as well. So really cool mons here. Maybe for my next pick, I want to get something speedy. So cool thing on Showdown, you can go to types, you can filter through types, you can go through names, you know where a Pokemon is, you can do tier, which many people start out with. Well, let's say I want a speed Pokemon, so I go speed, and maybe I want to pick up Ninjask, it's the top speed Pokemon. Maybe I want to look down through the list and find something really speedy as well. Maybe I want a Fire Water Grass Corn and I really want a nice, fast Pokemon to be in this tier. So maybe I pick up Sceptile here for a nice grass type. Or maybe I drop down here and pick up a Talonflame. That's got a pretty nice speed tier. Oh, I think maybe a fun one would be picking up Greninja. So we're going to go with Greninja here. It really works well with Gardevoir, giving it a dark typing to match its psychic typing. And Steel also works well with that, so nice pick up there with Greninja. At times you want to check, you always want to go back and check your tier list. Greninja is a tier 1. I have not been marking them. Let me go back and mark them. So Greninja would be tier 1, meaning that we would have to take the 50 points from the tier 1 as another free slot. And many people do just draft the higher tiers right off the top. don't worry about the lower tiers right away, but sometimes it is nice to get some lower tier mons that you want to put onto your team. Tier 2, we picked up Haxorus, right? Where is Haxorus? Oh, we picked up Haxorus in Tier 2. Yeah, there's Haxorus. We'll highlight Haxorus, picked it up. Tier 3, we'll pick up Gardevoir. So now we pick up Greninja in Tier 1. Now Greninja gets Tier 1 primarily because of Protean. The Protean's a great ability, we're going to give it that. And then we can whatever we want. It's got, we look at the speed, it's 122, 280 base speed. If we give it max speed, we're running to 243, which is really nice, making this Pokemon work super well with the choice specs, because it is fast enough that it can get off attacks. We run special attack, because that is super high. We can run max special attack, and then you can pick where you want to get your other attack to, maybe a little bit there in HP. Depending on how your sets run, you might want to give it max special attack, you might want to give it the boost with the Modest Nature, or you might want to give it the Timid Nature to boost its speed as well, or maybe you just want to tank those defenses even more. But choice specs, Greninja works pretty well. As you can see, we got some really cool moves. You gotta really play around with Greninja, so you use moves that complement it. Since it is a dark type, you probably want, it's a water dark type, so right away you're gonna be, that's a decent typing to have. But using a move can give you a different type with Protean. So if a Skull comes out, that's a great one to have. If you're expecting a water type, you're expecting someone to use a grass type move on you, maybe you want grass knot coverage, maybe you want Gunk Shot on the side, maybe you want something different. So we're running really cool moves here. So a really fun trio is the trio I'm putting up here: Extra Sentry, Dark Pulse, and U-Turn. Because if you have a dark type come in on you with Extra Sensory, you could U-turn out, get a nice switch out, and into something else that is going to resist it. So maybe you switch into Gardevoir there, who's going to be a fairy type and resist it, even though it is going to be weak to it as well. Maybe you switch to Celesteela, you get some tanky shots off. But really you want to work to make your team work well together. So if I use this team here, I got defense. If I want to run it that way, I got attack, special attack. I got a special attacker, I got a physical attacker, I got a physical wall and a special wall all in one, which makes Celesteela a really great viable Pokemon. Haxorus, I got a nice, pretty fast physical Pokemon that can run Scarf, make it super speedy, and take out everything with 322. That's going to do a lot of speed, as well as that's timed by 1.5, making it super fast. Maybe you don't even need the speed investment at 253. 1.5 is going to put you about 500, so you probably outspeed many things. Gardevoir also here, good special attacker, good special wall. So Greninja comes in, gives me that speed stat with the special attack that I really need to boost through that. But as you can see, we're running two special, a physical, and one that runs both sides. So maybe I want another physical attacker, maybe I want a physical speed attack. Maybe I want a physical sweeper. So I go to attack, look at the high points. See Cortana up there with high, but we do not want to. We want to avoid the higher tiers because we still don't want to waste all our points up there. So maybe it's better to look to drop into the documents to look at the tiers. Maybe we want to go down to tier 4, see what we can pick up here. Qwilfish looks fun. A fire type you could have here as well. Not seeing too much. Not too much that I would love to take. Maybe you find something here in tier 5 that you want to put up. So maybe I want to take Blastoise is a good option. Maybe we want to take Blastoise. So we'll pick up Blastoise in tier 4. As another water type, maybe you don't want to see. Maybe you don't want to do that now because you see that you have two water types here, Greninja and Blastoise. Maybe Blastoise is not a good option. You come back down, get rid of Blastoise. Maybe you don't want to do that. But you come down here and you see Venusaur. Venusaur is actually a really good Pokemon, and its ability makes it really useful. So maybe we pick up Venusaur instead. Take that in tier 4. Click the wrong one. We come take Venusaur in tier 4. We got Overglow and Chlorophyll. Maybe you want to pick up Mega Venusaur in tier 2. I believe Mega Venusaur is a tier 2 mon. Maybe we want to pick up Mega Venusaur tier 2. So pick that ability. That could be really nice. Also could be just really bulky and take hits. I've seen regular Venusaur work well. So maybe we just pick up Venusaur here as our grass type. And as you can see, pretty good stats all around. Not the fastest thing and not the bulkiest thing in HP. Maybe we went on a special, so we just give it like Sludge Bomb, we get a nice stab against fairy types. You can give it Energy Ball to get a nice stab, and then one whatever you want to run. Leaf Storm maybe if you want super powerful stab. You can run Roar, just trip things up, in and out, substitute. Maybe you want to set up Swords Dance, make it a physical Venusaur. You got options here. Earthquake. Got some really cool things you can run. Drop down here. The other options, hidden powers are all in there. Mudslap maybe. Maybe you hit Sludge instead. Get some nice moves. Maybe pick up a Venoshock here to do double damage. Doubles if the target's poison. Sludge Bomb is only 80 base power, so it's a 90 base power, so you're basically getting a Sludge Bomb every time you fight. But maybe you see that move pool doesn't work, you get rid of Venusaur from your list, and you don't like it. So you drop down, you find something that can work really well. You know, you just gotta figure out what Pokemon work really well together, and which ones you want to use. So I'm gonna actually show you my team for this season. You look right here, this is my team for this season. This is my entire sheet for this past season. So I went Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, Seismitoad, Mega Aggron, Tornadus, Cresselia, Drapion, Florges, Garbodor, Incineroar, Jinx, and Politoed for my team. Now a lot of my draft strategy was I wanted to do a ranked team, and I wanted to try out a ranked team, so Politoed was a big pickup on my team. So I based my entire draft strategy around picking up Politoed. And I hate to switch gears here and get rid of the Celesteela and that whole draft here, but this is what I did just to save some time. So we wanted Politoed, so we pick up Politoed. I saved it for about mid-tier because a lot of the tier 5 started going too. So I picked it up later in the draft. I wanted to, but my first pick, Tapu Koko, I wanted a nice strong electric type. I wanted to use Koko. I've never used Koko before. So I picked up Koko tier 1 to be a nice strong electric type to take on attacks. Then I picked up Hawlucha because I know how well Hawlucha pairs with Tapu Koko. There's Kokolucha, and what that strategy is you bring in Tapu Koko, you Volt Switch out into Hawlucha, or you can get Hawlucha in at some point in the game with the electric terrain up. It holds Electric Sea, which boosts its defense by 1 stage, and then it gets its Unburden boost, which boosts its speed, which doubles its speed, making this thing super fast and defensive. So if you just set up Swords Dance and stuff, you can wreck through teams, which works really well if you can get Hawlucha in on a great switcher. But you see, I don't really have a core here. I don't think I have a Fire, Water, Grass core. Really, I didn't pick up a grass type Pokemon, but I do have Incineroar, which is a nice physical attacker with Intimidate, and Seismitoad here as a water type. I didn't pick up a grass Pokemon because often you can leave out the grass type there too. Politoed also could fit in that function as well. For the Fairy Dragon Steel core, I have a Steel type in Mega Aggron as my Mega, really powerful physical attacker, and is a tank as well. So it works really well there. Fairy type, I picked up Florges, a nice cleric to have on my team. And I didn't pick up a dragon type, I didn't feel it was necessary. So I opted out of doing that. But the synergy of my team works really well together. Because Aggron is a nice bulky Pokemon, runs a lot like Celesteela, except it's a Mega form, so you gotta lose your Mega slot that way. And it also doesn't have super great recovery. But depends on how you want to use it. I use my Aggron in one match to take a +6 Mimikyu, Swords Dance, and Shadow Claw or something like that. And I took it. Aggron lived through it. So bulkiness there works really well. It just depends on what you really want to run. You find a Pokemon you really want to use, and you use it that way. Use it the way you want to use it. So maybe that's your basis for this league, I really wanted to use Koko and I really wanted to use Politoed. I thought a rain team would be really great here, so I sort of built a pseudo rain team off the side. Seismitoad gets some recovery when rain. Tornadus allows Hurricane to hit all the time in rain, which is really great. And some of these Pokemon do get like electric type coverage. Like Thunder can come in, Tapu can run Thunder there, get some Thunders going on. A lot of my teams here can run Thunder, which is really nice. So that was an option for me as well. But I wanted some things that work. I want to work outside of rain too. So Seismitoad with the ground typing really works well, except against grass types, which are really uncommon. And even if I do have that, I have Jinx on the backside to come in on the grass types, Ice Beam in the face. I have Incineroar to come in and use a fire type move on them. I got a lot of coverage here. It's really, you pick a Pokemon and you look at its weaknesses and you figure out how to fight against that. So if you go back and look here at Celesteela, the weaknesses for Celesteela are not very great. Fire type, it's 2 times. You got Rock, I think is 2 times, I think. I'm just gonna pull it up real quick, and then I can tell you exactly what Celesteela is weak to. So Celesteela is really only weak to fire and electric, so that's a really good thing to know. And you pick up Pokemon that can take those hits. So Haxorus has an immunity to both of those Pokemon types because it is immune to elementals like fire, water, grass, and electric. So it's immune it's not immune, but it's resisted by all those. Then I have to look at weaknesses for Haxorus. It's like Haxorus covers Celesteela pretty well. So I go to Haxorus and look at its weaknesses. Pure dragon types is going to be weak to Ice, Dragon, and Fairy. Do I have things that resist Ice, Dragon, and Fairy? Not really. But that's why Gardevoir comes to top here. I can get rid of the Dragon weakness here. And also Crusher, that Dragon type with the Fairy type as well. There may be some things to get rid of the Ice weakness. Greninja comes in and takes away the Ice typing. And nothing really resists Dragon besides Fairy, so let's take care of that. And to resist the Fairy type, maybe I'll pick up a Fire type. Maybe I just decide, oh, Charizard sounds really good. Maybe I want Mega Charizard Y so I can have Drought come in and do stuff like that. Which also has a really good moveset, so when I run special, I go Overheat. I pick up, maybe I want Fire Blast too. Maybe I pick Air Slash to come in there as well, and the Dragon Pulse for coverage. Then I have to worry about picking up some things to cover the Rock type, 4 times Rock weakness for Charizard. So I have Greninja, who's Water type, to take on those. Haxorus got some nice reliability moves at the back to pick it up, but to take on Rock types, maybe I want a nice solid Ground type to come in here and do it. And so I decide maybe Excadrill sounds good. So then I realize it's a Steel type. Don't really want a Steel type. And here, Grass type picks up really well. Pokemon that fits my Grass core, and also can pressure in those Rock types that come in. I can pick up a Theraphorn and run the very fun sets with Theraphorn. Besides, so this could be a really cool set to run, a really cool team. Again, you gotta watch your tiers here. Obviously, I just kind of picked the Pokemon here. So, like Celesteela's tier 1, Greninja's tier 1, Theraphorn's tier 1, making me pick a lot of tier 5s later on in your draft. And really knowing what points you have, we did a points total here. So as you can see, I did tier 1, a tier 1, a tier 2, 2 tier 3s, and tier 2 again. My 2 tier 5s back to back, another tier 3, and then some tier 4s at the bottom, and I picked up a tier 3 at the end. So I wanted to save some tiers around, do some really good things. Here, maybe I wanted this tier 2 really bad, and as you can see, I didn't really care for tier 4, so I left them at the end. They weren't really going well. And that's another thing you gotta worry about drafting. You gotta look at what other people are taking. So you come in, look at round 1. So this is the first one. Tier 1, tier 1, tier 1. Okay, tier 1s are going pretty fast. Maybe you want to pick up a tier 1. There's some tier 2s going out and a tier 5. So that's really cool. You gotta remember it's Snake, so DD gets another pick. So there's a tier 2 coming out, tier 1, tier 3, a tier 1, and a tier 2, and a tier 5. So you're seeing that tier 1s and tier 5s are going pretty fast. Tier 2s are also going pretty nicely. No one's really picked up a tier 4 yet, so you can kind of push that down lower on your list. I wanted Koko, Hawlucha Koko, so I took those 2 here. Then you gotta look at what else is going. Tier 2 also seemed to be getting pretty well. There's 2 that went. Tier there's 3 that went in the first 2 rounds, 2 tier 5s in the first 2 rounds, and a tier 3. The rest were tier 1s, so I want to pick up a tier 2 that I really like. Seismitoad really fit that build. So Seismitoad comes in here. Start see tier 4 go, a tier 3, a tier 2, a tier 3, a tier 5, another tier 2 going, tier 3, a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3. So you've seen a lot of the good tier 3s going. Maybe you want to pick up 2 tier 3s in a row, which is what I did. Really knowing what your team needs to have. Really picking some things that match in different tiers that can work for your team really well. That's a nice thing to look at. And seeing how things fit together. Maybe Theraform's already taken and I can't pick up Theraform. Maybe I have to go down here and pick up another grass type in the lower tiers. That would fit the bill really well. Maybe I want to pick Serena, pick it up with Leaf Guard, Leaf Majesty, so I can get rid of priority moves. That could be fun. That could be a great setup. I could also make it a Cleric here, get me some nice power, get some Drop Kick and stuff going off here, make this thing really strong. It's got good attack stat and things, so maybe that's what I want to run here. Maybe that works really well for my team. You gotta pick up things in different tiers. I had my first season where I did my Celesteela draft. I had Nidoqueen and Nidoqueen, both I wanted because they had Toxic Spike access. So I picked up Nidoking in tier 3, Nidoqueen in tier 4, which is often how they split. So that was something I ran there. And I ended up getting Nidoqueen, I think. I wanted Nidoking, but I got Nidoqueen. So you gotta look at just how they match up tier-wise. You gotta look at what's being taken. And at some points in the draft, once you know what you have, once you know you've got a strong foundation in your team, you decide to pick up something else. So I had Koko, Lucha, Seismitoad. By the time I got halfway through my draft, I'm just picking up Pokemon that are going to be good against other things. So Drapion comes in here. It's really good. It's a great grab on the final pick. It got a lot of access to stuff. If I had 3 Z-move users, easily could have been a 3rd Z-move user. I pick up Jinx and Politoed here to see some nice Choice Scarf and nice bulk here to use. Cineroar Garbodor sadly didn't get used this past season, but a really cool mons to have just because they pressured team builders. And sometimes you just get things that work well in team builders that people get scared of. Really coming down to drafting a team, you gotta pick things you like to use and things that are good and things that match up well together. So by picking things that work really well together, you can make a team where even though you're at a point where one of your mons is in a bad situation, one of your other mons can come out and take care of that situation, maybe fit in the sweep. So maybe there's a fairy type. Maybe the other team's running a lot of fairy types and I want Haxorus to sweep and I have Sword Stance, running Sword Stance on it to make it a sweeper so I can set up with it. Maybe it does, I don't know if it gets Dragon Dance or not. Yeah, maybe I want to set up Dragon Dance instead of Sword Stance. Maybe I want to set it up that way. I give an Assault Vest to get, or something like that. Maybe Leftovers, Life Orb, something. Make this thing hit hard. So maybe there's a really strong fairy type. Maybe they have maybe they have a Gardevoir on the other team. Maybe we didn't get Gardevoir in our draft. Maybe they have Gardevoir that's got Moonblast. It's going to come in and destroy my Haxorus because we have terrible special defense. So you bring in Celesteela instead, who's on your team, and it can tank the special defensive hits. It's also a steel type, so it's get access to heavy and also access to heavy slam. So it pressures that fairy type, and eventually you play a game where getting rid of the fairy type comes in major handy and gets you the game where you can just bring in Haxorus, who is resistant to a lot of typings, sets up with Dragon Dance, and just sweeps the team. So you gotta find Pokemon that work well together and things that can match superbly to make your opponent really, really worry about and really have to think about how to counter your team and know what you're going to say and what you're not going to say, which is a huge aspect of battling. But we'll get to that point later on in this series. To really draft what you want to draft, make sure it works well with your team. And definitely you want to draft a few things. You want to draft fighting types are usually really good in formats, so fighting type would be really great to have. You want to draft a nice Stealth Rock user, a nice Toxic Spikes user, and a nice entry hazard remover. So things that get like Rapid Spin and Defog and things like that. So this could be really fun things to run. Maybe you want a team that just brings in hazards and stacks them. Maybe your team runs really bad with hazards and you want to get rid of them. So I know one of my teams, I had, if you look at this team, we're really weak to Stealth Rock because we have Hawlucha's weak to it, Tornadus is weak to it, Drapion's weak to it, Incineroar's weak to it. So we have a lot of things that are weak to it, and you can see I don't have a lot of good hazard removers. I got Defog and things like Tornadus and Hawlucha, but you gotta really pick up a good hazard remover. Some of the best in the game are in the lower tiers, so that's really great and helpful. So those can pop up and use those as your hazard removers. You want to pick up a hazard setter, hazard remover, a really fast Pokemon that can outspeed most of the meta game. You want to pick up something that can be Choice, Scarf, Bandit, or Spect, because that really brings a new level of power to the team. Something that maybe has a great speed stat could be Choice, Bandit, or Spect, and something that has a great attack or a special attack stat could be Choice, Scarf, to make it outspeed a lot of teams. You want really cool things like that. You want Pokemon that can be walls and just come in and take shots for you. You want a lot of different things for a team. You can't just come in and pick a full physical team and expect to win a game, because special attacker might come in with a great physical defense and that ruins your whole setup. Maybe you want someone who has knockoff to get rid of your opponent's item, so that way they can't just sit there and get leftovers up over and over again. And maybe you just hit a Gliscor that comes in with a Toxic Orb because it has Poison Heal, and get rid of that so it can't heal. It just gives you a lot of options on what you want to play with, and really it's all up to you. What do you want to play? Do you want a Pokemon that you really like but can't play, or do you want something that you can deal, that you are interested in using, that actually has a great chance of getting you power? I know things like my mascot is Scavalier. I'm just looking at it on the screen. It works really well in rain because fire is weakened and it's one of its biggest weaknesses with a 4 times weakness. So a Scavalier can work super well in rain. Mega Horns and Iron Heads and things like that come in and this thing just cooks. It works really great. So you gotta find ways to set that up and work it. Really, it comes down to what you want to use and what works well for your team, and what's going to do well against other members of the team. Because once you get so far in the draft, you have everything you want. Once you get so far in the draft, you have everything you want to get. So right here, around halfway through the draft, I pick up Politoed. That is everything I wanted in the draft. I got my main top Pokemon. I got Coco. I had picked up Hawlucha and Seismitoad. I had picked up Cresselia and Tornadus. And I had picked up Politoed and Agumon. So I got some really great picks. That's all I really wanted in this tier. And as you can see here, I get the Politoed pick, and I realize Mega Sceptile goes, Mega Venusaur goes. And if I realize a Pokemon that's really good that I really want is Jinx, and I'm afraid it's going to go if I don't pick it up. So I traded up to get the Jinx pick. So Jinx was something I wasn't planning on grabbing, but it's there. I picked it up. Gorgeous. I got a nice recovery and Cleric in the bottom tiers. Uxie, I got a cheap man's Cresselia if I ever wanted to use it. That also gets access to Stealth Rocks and stuff like that. Garbodor picks up a nice poison typing, making fairy types not want to come, and also gives me spikes options. Then I have down here, I have Drapion. It's a nice final pick that gives me a lot of coverage and a lot of moves that just hit things really well. So you gotta look at what tiers you want to play and how you play. You gotta look at your tiers. You gotta look at what you want. You gotta look at hazards, hazard removers, and things that can play walls, things that can set up, and things that can outspeed everything. You just gotta find that niche of your pick. Most people go Fairy Dragon Steel Core or Water Fire Grass Core. Those are two of the best cores you can have in the game. But I argue some of these Pokemon can go down to multiple types. Like you have Greninja and Charizard, you might have a nice electric type on the other team that just takes both out. Who knows? An electric type really would work well against this team. It really only doesn't come in and do damage to Haxorus and yeah, just Haxorus and Serena. A nice electric type comes in here and just wrecks this team. You gotta look at that. Make a list of what you want in each tier. Make a list of how important it is to you. Get a pseudo draft going on your sheet of what you want to take each round and rank everything on how valuable it is to you. And once you find that ranking, you pick and order that ranking. But once you see how other people are drafting, like you see the tier 5s going and you think yours is going to go, you might want to grab that tier 5 before you grab that tier 3. Because that tier 3 has a better chance of being around because there's more Pokemon in that tier 3. But in that tier 5, there's not so much. So maybe it goes next turn before you can grab it. And that's going to be really disappointing because if your draft strategy is built around a certain Pokemon and you can't get it, you have to completely redo your draft strategy. So just knowing what you want. I've said this a lot of times. Hazard removal, knowing what you want, using something that's powerful physically or specially, using something that's wally, either defensively, special defensively, it just has a great HP stat, and using something that's fast and can get the job done. Those are what you look for in a team, and you want things that mesh together. Because once you find things that can cover for the other Pokemon, you have a great season ahead of you. That is all I have for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure you do leave a like and also subscribe to stay around for what else goes on in this series. We've already covered all the drafting stuff, so maybe now it is time to finally get into the battles, see how you play a game, and to come up with strategies against different Pokemon, how to set up teams, team builders, and things like that. So we'll see what we get coming up in the next couple of videos. But that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and until next time, I'm ChaosMade006, signing off. Burn it up.